Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CWE Semifinals Day 1 between SPK Reapers and, surprisingly, Lionheart Esports. This is going to be a very hype matchup this evening, and I'm glad every one of you can join us in this monumentous occasion. Currently, I am Sievert, the currently head organizer of CWE Esports, and I'm going to be your play-by-play caster for tonight. For LaRue has some complications that he needed to get figured out today. So I'll be filling in for his shoes. I'll be giving y'all a really good play-by-play casting to the best of my ability, and joining me is going to be Giga Ninja. How you doing tonight, Giga?
How you doing, Sievert? I'm doing good tonight. I'm excited to see how Lionheart Esports can do up against the Giants of SPK Reapers. It's kind of a David and Goliath story here. Lionheart's not winning a game at all during the regular split and coming into the playoffs. And since, everybody can make the playoffs, they could go all the way here if they manage to make it out today.
Yeah, as I said, a very monumentous occasion right now as Lionheart Esports actually the first team in all of CWE to actually go winless throughout the entirety of the season, only to win the quarterfinal matchup to RAR due to an unfortunate event due to RAR not being able to show up on time and them unfortunately FFing their season. And since Lionheart Esports beat the number 3 seed, they had to go ahead and go up against the number 1 seed of, excuse me, of SPK Reapers. And I believe we have a little bit of a
Shoot. There you
misclick
go.
right here. There we go, everybody. So we
Yeah,
had
the
a little
proper
bit.
pick would have been Oriana, but seems that Foxy timed out and panic clicked to Leah. So we'll see how they handle that.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. Possibly just a little bit of issues with one's client right now, as we are going to actually see if we can get back into the game here. But actually looking at the picks so far, we actually have some familiar faces actually returning, previous faces from CWE from Season 1, that being with Spike Genie on the side of Lionheart Esports, being a part of Wolfpack from last season, of course, joining in with Buffalo into Lionheart Esports' lineup. Seems a majority of Lionheart Esports picking up remnants or at least members from Wolfpack from last season. And right now, I'm actually excited to see what he's going to be able to pull out. Spike Genie, actually a very good Alawi player himself, that being one of the most contested picks for him last season. And for this season, haven't seen too much of Spike Genie. He's been really quiet as of late, only being able to join in through week 5, I believe, but he was on the sub roster during that week. So for Lionheart Esports to actually put him in here for, excuse me, to put him in here for their semifinal game is actually a huge step, and I can actually see a lot of pressure being on his shoulders.
Yeah, we're coming into some technical difficulties. To explain what happened in the lobby, looks like Foxy uh, bug splatted her client and ended up getting kicked out. So they're gonna remove her from the lobby. She's gonna relog back in, and a couple of minutes until we actually get this draft fired up. But we can talk about the team comps a little bit since they can't see it. But we have the pro draft in front of us. If we want to take a couple comments on their team comps, on the side of SPK Reapers, they are running a Tristana top, a Warwick jungle, Galio mid, and a Lucian Braum bot lane. And on the side of Lionheart Esports, it's Alawi top for Spiked Genie, Rek'Sai in the jungle, Oriana mid lane, and Leona Twitch for the bot lane. Any thoughts on the team comps yourself, Seabert?
Well, looking at the team compositions that I see before me, it seems for SPK Reapers, they have a more easier time executing a team composition such as theirs compared to Lionheart. For Lionheart, you do have Foxy, who's going to be on that Oriana, which I believe is going to be a very huge part of their team composition, whether it's going to fail or if it's going to actually succeed. Not a lot of engage potential other than the Leona and the Rek'Sai for her to give out her ball deliveries within team fights. But other than that, for the side of SPK, all they really have to do is make sure that Warwick is able to go in or possibly an even catch out from Tristana jump and a follow up from Galio ultimate. Then that could really set off SPK Reaper's team composition. But for the sides of who's easier to execute, I do say SPK Reapers are a lot easier to execute, but they are going to be left in a lot of disadvantaged positions because Galio Ultimate is on a very low, or is not very low, what am I saying? Very high cooldown. So they'll have to make sure that they can get this Galio Ultimate off at key points, but it leaves opportunities for Lionheart to go ahead and engage on them whenever they can. And even then, I'm expecting Lionheart to be a little bit more aggressive into this game, because if you do let a team composition like SPK Reapers start to get out of control, then Lionheart will actually be shut down, possibly even in the mid game, if it ever gets to that point. But I do have to give my team composition over to SPK Reapers in the early game. The Lucian Braum, I believe, is like one of the best dual lane matchups. And
especially into Leona.
yeah, especially into Leona, who can definitely go in and even
That's
for a
the only thing.
Twitch.
She can't do much in lane aside from go in, so it's either not doing anything in lane or dying in lane. It's a tough choice for Leona.
Even then, for the side of SPA Reapers, I don't really have much of a front line other than Warwick, who can do a lot more CC with Warwick E. But
Galio Braum.
Galio, well, for Galio, he's going to be more of the engage potential, and if he's able to get in on there, then he's going to be causing a lot of disruption. But Galio is easy to kite, but then again, I don't see any kind of kiting potential for Lionheart other than Twitch just staying in the back line and doing as much as he can. Of course, with Leona stuns and Rek'Sai knockups. That's all they really have for much hard CC control to make sure that Twitch stays alive. But if Warwick's going to be keeping on just diving into the back line, I can't really see American Liquor being able to kite enough for Radis Please just so he can push out enough damage, because Warwick is one of the most annoying champions that he can actually get into the backline fairly easily and have just some kind of survivability, just enough to cause enough disruption in team fights. How about you? What do you think about these team compositions, Giga?
In the terms of 5v5, when I look at SPK Reapers, I see 2 ADCs and 3 tanks. So I think they have a very simple job of guide your ADCs to objectives and force the opponent to answer your long engage, or you're not long engage, your long range, since you can just take things from such a range with their champions. So if a fight breaks out, the job of SPK Reapers is just to protect their ADCs. They're not like their dive potential comes from Warwick Galio, right? And Warwick goes in and Galio also on top of him, and that's okay. A Twitch flash will save him. A Leona stun might save him. So their dive potential isn't the greatest, but I think Braum shield against Twitch, Galio and Warwick are both not like they build tanky enough that I think they count as tanks. So I think they have a very easy to manage team composition. On the side of Lionheart Esports, they have their original draft was Rek'Sai, Leona, Twitch, so they went for some decent heavy engage there, and then their last 2 picks were Alawi, Oriana, which kind of leads into we're sending either Rek'Sai or Leona in with the ball, and we're gonna let Twitch spray and pray all across the enemy team. So their team comp is kind of more wombo combos kind of focus. So their job is going to be built around vision control, especially in the jungle, because that tight corridors helps a lot with landing big shockwaves or big Leona ultimates. And that's really it. Like their main job is not to fight in a fair 5v5 mid lane ARAM kind of style. They want to catch somebody out in the jungle, or they want to force a 5v5 in the jungle where they can get off a lot of their big ultimates. But the Braum shield, I think, was a very smart pickup by the side of SPK Reapers, because it can stop a lot of the damage coming out, especially from Twitch blocking those bolts. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams play it as the game goes on. But I think laning phase definitely is the way of SPK Reapers. Lucian Braum stronger than Leona Twitch. It's kind of a rough matchup for Leona. And then top lane is Tristana versus Alawi. Alawi being a juggernaut, doesn't have a lot of engage tools. And then the range advantage from Tristana is just going to help her inherently win the lane. Rek'Sai beats Warwick, but it's always close between those two champions.
Right.
Rek'Sai is designed for the early game, but Warwick has that innate healing that can always matter a lot. Red buffs will matter, red smite will matter, who responds. And then in the mid lane, it's kind of a farm fest, unless a gank wants to occur. Galio has a lot of tools to help a jungler come in for the gank. So we'll see if Warwick wants to put attention there. If not, I expect it to kind of be a wash lane. We have about 1:15 left on the spectator delay before we can get into the games. So interested to see what the team wants to do in the early game, especially on the side of Lionheart Esports, since they're going to be kind of sloughing it through the early game, trying to make it to their 5v5 team fight potential.
It seems like they're going to even probably stay with a possible 4-1 kind of composition. Lowy definitely being one of those split pushing threats that can actually cause so much pressure in the side lanes to at least expend two people to go and deal with her, and then possibly Lionheart are going to be able to look for opportunities to even fight a 4v4, because I do agree in the parts of fighting a possible 4v4, because they do want to avoid a 5v5 scenario, because I believe Lionheart Esports do not have the unless if they've been working on this team composition in their practices for the entirety of the 2 weeks. I don't think Lionheart will have enough team communication enough to actually pull this composition off. If they are, however, I'm going to be fairly surprised. I'll be totally
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. I
But
think they have a good.
their main goal, I do say, it is to make sure that they can keep SPK at bay and make sure that they won't be able to fight a excuse me, a 5v5 scenario.
I think like the champion that's going to answer Alawi is probably Galio, since his ultimate is going to be able to help go to another lane. So we'll see what they want to do to answer that. But Alawi's damage, once she gets like a couple items on her, is like even base, nothing to scoff at. And then after a couple items, like the scaling on it is great. So I think Lionheart Esports has the tools, like perfectly executed. They could probably win any 5v5, any 4v4, but the odds of winning a fight if they remove either Tristana or Galio from the fight increase immensely, since Tristana is going to be a significant, almost all of the damage towards the later parts of the game, and Galio is the only source of magic damage.
And
There we
there is
go.
the pause. As you said,
Classic.
there's going to be the pause here for CWE. Actually, I can't even remember the last time that's we actually had a pause
In
here
a while.
so far into, because I don't think there was even one pause during the quarterfinals matchup, especially between Monster Mash and Nocturnal Dragons. But I'll go ahead, give the quick rundown right now, as we have Kaiju Panda and the Tristana up there in the top lane, Magnus in the jungle with the Warwick, Flying Squirrel on Galio in the mid lane, Koisto, I believe, I'm trying my best here, if I butchered it, I'm sorry, Koisto and Lord Darkin in the bot lane with the Lucian and the Braum, very intimidating bot lane duo right there. And then we move over to Spike Genie up in the top lane with the Lowy, new meta EDU on the Rek'Sai, Foxy mid lane with Orianna, the Rat is pleased on the Rat of Twitch, and American Liquor rounding off Lionheart Esports' composition with the Leona. Now, looking at these compositions right now, who do you believe has the early game advantage between the two compositions, Giga?
SPK Reapers.
100%?
Tristana. Yeah, 100%. Tristana range versus melee top. As long as he plays around well of the Rek'Sai and doesn't walk into or let himself be open to ganks, he should be perfectly fine up there. Lucian Braum is like the classic kill you bot lane of a traditional ADC support, especially with their level 2 being so strong. So I think they'll at least win the lane, if not, stomp it. And then mid lane is kind of a wash. I already commented on it. It's kind of, if Warwick wants to show up, Galio has tools to help. If not, it's kind of like Orianna doesn't have the damage or the mana to really harass the Galio, and looks like we're having a Invade coming in, 5-man stack, but a
Currently a 5-man
semi-classic
stack on the
4.
side of Lionheart Esports right now, and they're actually going to be able to get a ward out, but they're actually going to be able to clear it out. That CS actually going to the Kaiju Panda there, getting just a little bit of CS, just a 10 gold CS lead over Spike Genie right now. But as you can see right now, Lionheart Esports actually going with the casual 5-lane stack right now, as SPK Reaper's going ahead and going into that bot side river invade, and so far to their dismay it wasn't really much, and all the teams are going to be backing off, and now SPK is going to be doing a stack of their own.
Everybody saw everybody, so they kind of just backed off, didn't want to walk into anything too stupid. Interesting to see, looks like Rek'Sai starting top side, so maybe he wants to put pressure towards the mid and the bot side, or go for can't level 2 gank, as a Rek'Sai needs all 3 abilities to do anything, but see where he wants to go with that alternate starting route.
And actually, I can actually see something a little bit unusual, because I am also a secondary jungler myself, and Rek'Sai actually going with the Hail of Blades rune there for his primary. Now. Is it I believe it was Conqueror was the new standard for Rek'Sai. I can't be.
It might have changed with a recent patch, but as far as I know, Hail of Blades is just very strong for the early game, getting off the 3 quick auto attacks, the powered auto attacks, improving a lot of the early dueling power.
We can actually see Flying Squirrel actually going in on Fox right now, actually chunking her out for her down all the way to half health right now, having her expend already one of the health potions. So he's trying to make his presence known right here in the early game. And so far,
I think that early trading is good for the Galio. The shield will be coming in soon once he gets level 3. And he took teleport, and he's definitely a champion that can purchase a corrupting potion with no qualms. So I think early trading is good, just to trade 1 for 1, since he's has that to just poke him out of lane and then teleport back and an extra wave up. Small advantages, but can add up over time.
We actually see inside the jungle matchup right now, actually Warwick already clearing his red in his topside jungle. Actually now looking to take the Scuttle as soon as it spawns right now, and Rek'Sai just only cleared his red buff and his topside correct, and actually there's going to be American Liquor actually happen to queue onto the Lucian, and right now there's going to be quite some damage right there in the bot lane, and Spike Genie actually allowed to pull the soul out of Kaiju Panda right there, and she's going to be taking a little bit more damage there. Stana, and still Foxy in the mid lane, still having just a single CS lead over Flying Squirrel right now, so just back and forth trades.
Yeah, it's kind of a wash in that mid lane. Orianna has the mana issue, so we'll see how he can handle that kind of
Oh, and here actually comes Flying Squirrel, actually landing a very nice combo on the Foxy right there, chunking her down to just below a quarter HP, and you can actually see, and actually here comes Magnus up in the top lane. Kaiju Panda actually going to be able to get the sticky bomb on her, but too much to their dismay. And Warwick actually taking in quite a few tower shots, going to bring him down to 10% health right now, and a little bit of a successful dive, but they were able to get the flash out of Spike Genie up inside the top lane. So overall, semi-successful game. Could have been a little bit cleaner, but overall got the flash out of Spike Genie.
Let's watch new meta EDU. Since he saw Warwick in the top lane, he knows he's free to go either mid or bot.
He's actually coming mid right now. Mid EDU actually able to go up. Actually, Flying Squirrel's actually able to get the taunt. Foxy actually following right behind him. New meta EDU and Foxy currently fighting to try to catch out Flying Squirrel. Flying Squirrel actually able to get the Q, but he flashes, and she's actually going to get the Ignite, and that's first blood over to new meta EDU onto the Rek'Sai.
Wow. Great flash from new meta EDU to catch the Galio on his kind of knockback from his E. Get another to interrupt the E and get another knockup. So well played by new meta EDU, getting first blood there.
Little bit of a misplay over there by Flying Squirrel. Had to actually now teleport into lane. Actually going and flashing, and actually using E as well. But all he did was just knock himself right back in new meta EDU as well. So a little bit of missed mechanics there from Flying Squirrel. A little bit of some good mechanics over there in the laning phase until, of course, he gets ganked, and maybe just a little bit of nerves kind of getting to him, as, like I said, just a little bit of a misplay there by him.
As can be expected. You know, you can't play perfectly, but it was almost escaped. Well played by new meta EDU. If you didn't land that flash, would have been Flying Squirtle walking away with his life. So now we'll see what new meta EDU can do. Rek'Sai being the early game champion, up another 400 gold over his counterpart. Ooh, 600 gold. I lied. He has amassed a CS lead too. So we'll see what he wants to do with the money. Picking up boots and the Chilling Smite. Maybe looking for more ganks, more mobility on some of the enemy laners.
What is actually pretty surprising too, as well, as we kind of look in the top lane right now. Actually,
Galio
SPKvsLHE
looking
leading over Kaiju Panda right now by just
Lots
about
of pings
12
coming
CS.
down.
And we can actually see up in the top side, you can actually see that they're going to look to actually collapse on SPKvsLHE right now. They know that he's flashless, but they're going to go ahead and disengage from the top side. Even Foxy trying to push out the mid wave as fast as she can, but as much as there's made. Orion is not really the champion until she gets a couple of items to actually get some things going. But actually, SPKvsLHE right now actually looking to go in. American Liquor is actually able to get the E on her, and he's actually going to be able to exhaust. But there goes the stun onto American Liquor right now. SPKvsLHE is still doing some damage. That's going to be some heals. Actually, exhaust right now. They're going to be disengaging both sides. And right now, this is actually a very even trade between both teams. But the Orion is coming down right now, and Lord Drekken's actually going to be going down to the Radis Pleased. And that is currently 0-2 in favor of the winless team. And actually, new meta EDU is actually coming up to Kaiju Panda right now. That's actually a really good stun off of the new meta EDU. He's actually going to be chasing under tower, but Kaiju Panda able to actually just retreat under tower without no flashes expended. And a very good roam right there by Foxy to come from all the way down the mid lane to actually get the kill on Lord Draken and gifting that kill, especially over the Twitch. Big win for Lionheart Esports there.
American Liquor?
American Liquor taking a tower shot right now. Just only living with just 8% HP right now, and Kaiju Panda actually going to get the soul ripped out of him by SPKvsLHE right now, and is actually taking a lot of damage right now, but that's new meta EDU actually getting caught out. That's a CC chain right there, and they're actually calling on tower, and they're going to get the kill onto new meta EDU. The kill being gifted over to Flying Squirtle.
Yep, level 7 Galio, level 5 Rek'Sai. It's coming on the bot lane fight that happened a minute ago, but it feels like a while ago, all the action. It was a good dance from Twitch and Leona, kind of playing with the ranges. Since Lucian's such a lone JDC, it was a little hard for him to get onto the Twitch. So Twitch, the Radis Please kept putting down auto attacks after auto attack onto the Braum, which wasn't doing a lot. But since the fight was so long, and since the Lucian couldn't get up to the Twitch to deal damage, they ended up poking the Braum down low enough to get the kill there, 1 for 0. And 2 plates since Foxy came down. So lots of extra gold in the pocket of the Radis Please.
Currently, right now, SPKvsLHE actually going in, but Kaiju Panda just being able to just kite out the Alawi right there. So not really much of a laning phase. Not much of a laning phase advantage over there for the Alawi, of course, with Tristana being at that range advantage right now. But currently, Lionheart Esports still maintaining that 300 gold lead right there over SPK Reapers, and Flying Squirtle actually going in, going to be landing a decent enough taunt, getting just a little bit of damage onto Foxy right here, and SPKvsLHE actually coming around, we're seeing if he's going to pull soul, but he actually misses, and Kaiju Panda actually able to return some damage in return. But as of right now, the lanes are still pretty even. Still, SPKvsLHE having that CS lead over Kaiju Panda. Very even inside the jungle as well. Mid lane, the advantage going over to Flying Squirtle just by a little bit. And actually, surprisingly, in the bot lane, the CS advantage actually being in favor of Lionheart. And Lionheart's currently not going in. But right now, SPKvsLHE actually going to be taken down immediately. And that's actually going to be a failed flash and a failed ultimate from Lord Draken right over there. And American Liquor going to be able to try to escape, but she's just going to get CC chained and run down. And right now, Flying Squirtle is actually going to be able to flash out there, but new meta EDU is right there. He's going to look in for the knockup right now, but not even find anything, and Foxy is going to get the kill off of that one. So all together, a 2 for 1 in favor of SPK Reapers.
Yeah, that was almost catastrophic for the side of Lionheart Esports. If they, maybe a fight went off over the Scuttle Crab, but if they fell there, the Galio lived, that would have been Drake secured, and a lot of advantage going over the side. Radis Please.
Actually, you can actually see the Radis Please is actually
is
might be caught out here, but he's just going to be able to miss that Braum ultimate. But right now, Magnus actually looking to be caught out, but he's going to take the blast plan over to safety. As right now, Mountain Drake currently being contested as 4 members of Lionheart Esports are actually down here.
That might be what they turn to, since the side of SPK Reapers is backing off right now. They have
They do
vision control of the
have to
area.
watch out right now because Galio does have ultimate of the area right now, and they're going to be looking to actually look. This is actually looking for a fight that SPK Reapers actually want to take, as currently the Dragon is going down.
Malawi teleport too. That could play a factor in this.
The Dragon's now down to about 40% HP. American Liquor going to try to do as much disruption as she can as NewMediEDU is just melting the Mountain Drake, and Mountain Drake is actually going to be going over as Warwick actually missed the ultimate, and here comes the TP from Spike Genie right now, and here comes Warwick into the middle of the fight. They're going to take down American Liquor right now, and it's currently a 0 for 1 right now in the favor of Lionheart. Now it's a 1 for 1 as Spray and Pray is going off by the Raz Please right now, as Lord Draken is actually going to be going down to Foxy. Koiso has to be retreating under the tower. It's actually going to be a flash from Spike Genie, actually going to be able to pull up the soul, and just going to be ripping apart Lucian's soul right now, as Lucian has to retreat under the towers. That is a big wave in the bot lane, as they're going to look to actually take the bot lane turn, as right now, NewMediEDU and Foxy heading up to the mid lane to try and contest Flying Squirtle right now.
Yeah, that was actually a great play. I want to props towards Spike Genie there. Not only did he teleport on time, on a good position to zone away the Lucian, keep Lucian out of the fight, but he also stayed, didn't try to like go top lane really quickly. He stayed to help get the turret to make sure that they get first turret and that Zana's not getting free plates with no trade. We'll see if NewMediEDU actually wants to stay here. American Liquor's coming up, but very low against Susana. It's like Kaiju Panda doesn't want to take the fight. He's backing off, running away while he can.
First tower objective going over to the side of Lionheart Esports, as they now currently have a, I believe if my math serves me right, a 1K or 1.2K gold lead over SPK Reapers right now, as bot lane is going to go ahead and catch all the farm. As actually, you can see Twitch going to roam to the bot lane, but that's actually American Liquor going ahead onto Kaiju Panda right now. Spike Genie is actually going to be missing the soul grab right there as he's going to go on, but Magnus is also here as well. Spike Genie actually does not have ultimate available, but Leon's going to be able to spend the ultimate, but she's going to absolutely miss, and they're actually going to look to turn on to Magnus right now, as NewMediEDU is just barely going to miss, as he's actually going to ultimate, and Rek'Sai is just going to get the ultimate off, and it looks like he's going to just barely survive right now, as NewMediEDU is trying to find a way out of the jungle, and right now Kaiju Panda and Flying Squirtle is actually going to be going in, and NewMediEDU looks like he's going to be shut down by Kaiju Panda right here. And right now, Raz Please is actually down the bot lane to fend off on his own, as both Lucian and Lord Dragon are right there, and here comes Flying Squirtle actually going to be able to get the tone onto American Liquor, and he's just going to get destroyed right now, and Spike Genie is actually going to be getting the kill on to the soul of Kaiju Panda, and Kaiju Panda is actually going to be running right now, and actually he's going to be able to get the kill right there, and that is just going to be a smacking of tentacles from Spike Genie right now, and he's just going to be absolutely obliterating the health bar of Flying Squirtle, and the slow is going to be just enough to get that kill onto Flying Squirtle. Spike Genie showing exactly why his Alawi needs to be feared, and he is showing why it was so many times banned in Season 1 of CWE.
Yeah, lots of damage coming in from that Alawi. Conqueror keeping him very healthy on life. Well played by Spike Genie to win that 2v1. I'd say 2v2, but American Liquor was so low that he just kind of died at the beginning of that fight.
Right now, Spike Genie actually able to grab the soul off of Max again, and actually Kaiju Panda is going to look to actually do an engage onto Spike Genie, but Spike Genie is just going to be able to retreat, as now both the mid and ADC, and actually the entirety of Lionheart Esports are going to go back to mid lane to try and contest the mid lane turn, as really there's not much presence there, as Galio has to be there to actually try and defend that mid lane turn, as
Galio has good wave play right now, but against the range that Lionheart Esports has right now, I think they have a decent siege. Can't, part about every wave, so I think we can try to get some chip damage down on this turret, maybe look to establish vision and transfer over to Rift Herald. Past 14 minutes, but still a useful objective on taking down some extra turrets.
Kaiju Panda right now going up to put some pressure on this top lane turn, and Spike Genie's going to be able to match it here. American Liquor claims some mid lane vision right now, as right now we're actually seeing a 4v4 right now over here in the mid lane, as NewMediEDU is actually going to be rotating over right now, and Spike Genie actually looking to get some damage onto Kaiju Panda, actually pushing him back even.
The full Triforce completed, which is a lot of damage, especially on the W, Sheen proc. If we look at objective-wise, the Infernal Drake is coming
Actually,
up.
Flying Squirrel's actually going to be looking to go in. Actually gets a taunt off onto RazPlease, and that's going to be a nice follow-up damage right there from the from the Warp right there, and that's actually going to be another good ultimate from Flying Squirrel right there. It's right now, Lionheart Esports are just being dove under tower, and American Liquor actually going to be able to get some good damage off, and actually that's going to be another kill. New Meta EDU and Kaiju Panda are actually going to be fighting for it, and New Meta EDU just barely getting away with just enough HP. That is currently a 4 for 2 in favor of Lionheart Esports, and this is a completely different Lionheart Esports that we are seeing this just in the or in the semifinals alone. Excuse me, this is just a brand new Lionheart Esports that we're actually seeing right now, as Lord Draken actually coming down to actually see if he can try and contest this Infernal Drake, and it's just enough pressure to actually make the two back off, and the objective is
they don't know where the rest of the SPK Reapers are. They just know that Lord Draken's there. They don't have Smite. Magnus is back on the field, so they want to back off and not, let the Infernal Drake be stolen, since it's such an important Drake. But Lionheart Esports coming up huge in these last couple of fights. Their micro is, a little bit better than we've seen in the past season. SPK Reapers might have misplayed that fight, biting a little bit too hard. Lots of turret damage coming down since they went so far for the RazPlease. But the fight went in the way of Lionheart Esports, so we'll see what they can do with it. Looks like they're gonna put in 4 men at the
Spike Genie. Actually, Kaiju Panda actually looking to actually get some damage in right now, and Spike Genie is actually going to be taking just a lot of damage right here for free, and this actually, RazPlease is going to try to actually collapse on the Flying Squirrel right now. Flying Squirrel actually have to expend the flash right there, and actually a very good collapse on there from the ADC of mid lane right there. Kaiju Panda just taking so much damage from the Soul right now, and he's just going to be getting smacked right now. That's going to be a flat kill for Spike Genie on the Alawi, and this man is just punishing this top lane Kaiju Panda right now, making him regret choosing it, as right now both teams are actually going to be contesting over Infernal Drake, but this is just going to be an easy secure for Lionheart Esports right now, and as they're actually pressuring the mid lane right now, and they're all coming up for a collapse right now, and Koiso are actually going to be spending the ultimate onto there, and actually that's going to be a nice follow-up damage from Lionheart right there, and they're going to be getting a kill onto the bot lane of SPK Reapers right now, and
we were talking about it. Maybe they were practicing this. That was very well executed by them.
And actually, Spike Genie right now actually going to be able to cut off Mangus right now, and he's going to be able to pull out the Soul and just cause some free damage right now for Magnus, as he has to retreat from his blue buff even. Possibly this is going to be going over to Foxy right now, as as I could say, this is...
Buff taken, jungle taken. They're taking Rift Herald right now. This is very dominating performance by the side of Lionheart Esports.
Maybe the extra week is what they needed right now to just prepare their compositions even more, especially for the #1 seed in SPK Reapers. And I don't believe each matchup is pretty final until, of course, the game is currently over. We have seen in the past Lionheart Esports actually getting these kind of leads and actually looking this dominating, but it just comes down to 1 or 2 plays where they just have a little bit of a misstep and they just end up throwing the game entirely. But so far, it looks like they have relatively great control over SPK Reapers, as they already have a 4K gold lead over SPK right now. And as I was saying, this is just looking like an entirely new roster, or not even new roster, just a new I'm trying to look for the word right here. This is just a very new presence that Lionheart Esports is bestowing around here, and I don't think SPK Reapers were ready for this kind of matchup today.
Yeah, and this is like a very pivotal moment for them in the game right now. It's 1930. There's no Drake for 3 minutes. Baron spawns in 30 seconds, but they can't take it. All the outer turrets are down except for the mid lane, so we want to see what Lionheart Esports can do right now if they're gonna just 5-man ARAM mid, 4-1, 1-3-1. If they can successfully take an objective in this kind of lull where nobody has to lead out.
Lord. That damage
that
from
Orianna
just QE, I believe it's QE or QW. I think it's QE, yeah. QE from Orianna alone onto Lucian. Oh my lord, just chunks him out immediately. And as we were talking about in the early stages, of course, there's that split push pressure from Alawi, making sure that he's keeping Kaiju Panda down there, making sure that he has to just be on wave clear duty. But right now, they actually see Rek'Sai up in the top lane, and maybe they
I think Orianna is so strong that she's counting as essentially 2 members for the side of Lionheart Esports. You know, Galio is on 2 items as well. Sorry, not as well. He's the only
here
one.
Here they
on
go.
2
They're
items
actually going to be looking for
members.
Foxy right now. Foxy actually able to flash around, and there's going to be a great ultimate for Foxy, and she's just going to delete Lord Draken right now, and there heads, and he's going to actually spend the Rift Arrow top lane, and that's going to be another fight. That is a double kill for Foxy as they take down Lord Draken and Magnus. 2-0 for Lionheart, and this is catching SPK off guard. They don't know how to answer this as the top lane is now pushing in. The bot lane is getting pushed in. Now their mid lane is getting even more pressure. You see just so much pressure from the side of Lionheart Esports.
Yeah, that
Numedic actually going to be able to go on Lucian, and it just absolutely deletes him.
Hella Blades. Hella Blades Rexar.
And actually, he's going to actually go into Kai's ban, but Numedic is getting a little bit too overzealous right here. And trying to act like he can be the one to solve the entire world right here, and he just
2 turrets and half an inhib. They got 2 turrets mid lane, a turret bot lane. That's insane. The Orianna accounting for so much damage in that last fight. I don't know. They definitely had to have been practicing this team comp for at least a week. You know, this is very well coordinated from them. I hope they can carry this throughout the series.
Right now, Spike Genie currently still causing so much pressure right now. Kai's Ped is actually going to be able to kite out, or actually catch him out right now. Spike Genie is actually going to be able to land a really good ultimate. And he's actually going to be able to get a trade kill on the Kaiju Panda, a 1-for-1 for Spike Genie right there after being collapsed on by 3 different members of SPK Reapers. It's just alone, you can see how much pressure this Alawi is able to cause. And really, SPK Reapers don't really have much of an answer. That was a 3-man collapse that they had to do on Spike Genie alone. And if it's going to be like this for the remainder of the match, I really don't see any answers other than just really well-coordinated 4v4 fights with SPK Reapers against Lionheart right now. And
I don't even think they win a 4v4. They have to catch either Radis Please or Foxy out.
Especially for how under-level, or not really under-level, just for the amount of items that Lucian doesn't even have.
2.5 on Alawi. You know, Triforce, Death Stance, Tabby, and Bramble Vest. Like, that is a very strong Alawi.
That is going to be almost a steal from, excuse me, SPK Reapers right now. And actually, Spike Genie actually going to be able to come out from the side. And he looks like he's going to actually be able to be called out, but right now he's actually going to flash, and actually they're going to miss pretty much every single ability right now. Spike Genie's actually getting called out right now, and he's actually going to be able to go down.
He waited a bit too long on it, trying to get greedy for the extra tentacle from the E.
And actually that's going to be a cut shot right now from Numedic EDU right now, and Numedic EDU is actually going to be able to go on the Lucian right now. That's going to be a lot of damage, and Foxy's going to be able to get the kill on the Lord Dragon right there, and Flying Squirrel actually going to be able to cause enough pressure, but it's not going to be enough as he's going to go down to Foxy as well. And this Orianna is just getting fed and getting more beefy and beefy as the time goes on in this match, and currently SPK Reapers don't have an answer for it.
We saw new meta EDU go in there, and I think it's a worrying sign that they're reaching the Rek'Sai point, you know, post 20 minutes, where Rek'Sai just isn't the champion that she is in the early game. Got the catch on close though, knock up, ultimate, you know, triple Q and E, and just couldn't deal enough damage or stay on long enough to kill him. So it's a worrying point for the future of Lionheart Esports. You know, they're still up 2 Infernals and an Earth Drake, so they can play around this Baron and force a strong fight using their Orianna Twitch. But we'll see how useful new meta EDU can be towards these later parts of the game.
And as the game is currently going on, it's going to be actually much harder for Lionheart Esports to actually be able to kite this team composition of SPK Reapers. As we said in the early stages of the game, as time goes on, the easier composition to actually execute is on the side of SPK Reapers, as all they have to do is make sure that work goes in and follow up from Flying Squirtle to get so much disruption in the backline for Lionheart Esports. But with Foxy being as huge as she is right now, she is able to just single-handedly just ultimate the backline of SPK Reapers, and that's immediately just going to take Lucian out of the fight, especially the Braum, as right now everyone looks to be rotating over to the Baron right now.
Yep, Baron is definitely where you want to be on the map. Void Staff coming up from Orianna, she's going to be basically one-shotting whoever she lands. You know, all 3 abilities together is going to one-shot either ADC. So we'll see how well Kaiju Panda and Cloisto can space in these fights to keep themselves alive, and how much Lord Draken, Flying Squirtle, and Magnus can force
Actually, here we
spacing out
go.
of
This is
them.
actually going to be a full like team collapse on the side of Lionheart
Oh,
SPK
that
Reapers
Shanks
onto
C.
Spike Genie, and that is a full roster of SPK Reapers collapsing on Spike Genie right now, but they're going to be able to go ahead and put pressure on the bot side tower as Flying Squirtle actually
Punishing in the
has to
bot lane.
teleport onto
Oh
the bot,
no.
and New Meta EDU actually looks like getting caught out a little bit under tower right now, and American Liquor and New Meta EDU have to retreat from that. A very good defense from the side of Flying Squirtle right now, and actually they're going to be able to jump on New Meta EDU, and actually that's a Twitch that's causing a lot of damage on the side lane right now. Kaiju Panther actually should be going down. Lord Dragon's going to be going down, following suit right now, and Oriana is actually going to be shut down by the Warwick right now, and currently Magnus is just still trying to auto-attack, survive just a little bit longer, gets Raz please, but he's going to be able to pick up the kill on that, as currently Lucian and Galio, the only two members surviving as the bot lane of Lionheart Esports, look to still put pressure on the map. And this is where we start to get a little bit nervous if you're a Lionheart Esports fan right here. They looking to just be a little bit more overzealous and just pressuring a little bit too much right now. And it's currently being their downfall, as right now this gold lead is still relatively in favor of Lionheart Esports, and we're going to be getting a little pause right here, but this is actually getting kind of scary. They are looking a little bit more messier in these macro calls that Lionheart Esports is making.
Yeah, so it was a good teleport by Flying Squirtle. I don't think New Meta EDU expected the instant wave clear. If he did not teleport down, it would have been the turret, and that would have been exposed 2 inhibitors, which is a great position for Spike Genie to be in, being able to be on the bot side while Baron is up. And then in the preceding fight, Kaiju Panda jumped in and basically tunnel visioned on New Meta EDU, who bought himself a bunch of time with his ultimate. And all the focus was Kaiju Panda to New Meta EDU, and the Radis Please just got to sit there hitting Lord Draken and Kaiju Panda from the side, being completely ignored. Magnus went in, dived pretty far to get the 1,000 gold shutdown onto Foxy, or from Foxy, which is a lot of money in the pocket of SPK Reapers, but it's on kind of not one of the greater members to be on. They definitely want the money on the Tristana at this point in the game. Keeping Tristana alive and focused in a fight is going to be a lot of how they want to win in these upcoming fights. The new plan for Lionheart Esports right now should be vision control. If we look at the minimap, we can see that there's two boards, one in the river, one in the Baron Pit, one at control ward at blue buff, but that one's kind of a little bit too far to be a Baron vision ward. So if we see Lionheart Esports move in, buy a couple control wards, and establish dominance in that area, they can either bait the Baron, take the Baron, since they have 2 Infernals and an Earth Drake, or just, well, those are their 2 options. I don't know why I was saying more, but that's how they want to be moving from this point in the game. They should have been doing that for a couple minutes now, but they have an exposed inhibitor kind of on the wrong side of the map. But that's their kind of avenue to approach, is force the Baron play, and then from there, win the game or lose the game, depending on how the play goes. So it's going to be close soon.
It's like Flying Squirrel having a little bit of technical issues on the side of SPK Reapers right now. He's going to be getting that solved right now and seeing if he can resolve this issue right now. But as we take a look at the minimap right now, we can actually see that there's a ton of vision currently over down by the bear, or not by Baron Pit, excuse me, by the Dragon Pit for Lionheart Esports, and they do have some vision on the Baron right now. But as you said, with 2 Infernals and a Mountain Drake right now, Baron should be the point for Lionheart Esports to actually cause even more pressure right now, but they just haven't been prioritizing that major objective right now. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be until they keep on doing what they're doing, and Lionheart Esports is currently, if I must say, they're currently losing this macro battle in terms of sieging objectives and trying to get objectives down. They're trying to split SPK Reapers as much as they can right now, and it seems that SPK Reapers are actually doing a good job trying to mitigate as much objective control loss from Lionheart Esports, and overall, they're just doing all they can to make sure that they can keep these objectives up and standing, because right now they do have their bot lane tower extremely low, and they do have an open inhibitor top, and Malawi is currently heading up towards that top side right now, but
Hopefully it doesn't get 5-man collapsed and chain CC'd again, but...
Exactly. Even then, for the 5-man collapse, it would have been a little bit easier if he would have expended his abilities a little bit sooner. To see SPK knowing that Lionheart Esports is actually there right now, and they're actually able to clear out all the vision. Very good catch out right there from New Meta EDU, and they currently don't have any vision anywhere else right now. And
I don't think they saw the blue ward. Oh, no, they did. They see what the sky is blue.
Yeah, they are right now, and Lord Dragon actually a good one look to be actually caught out right now, and he's actually going to be doing a lot. New Meta EDU is just trying to zone as best he can, and that's going to be an ultimate out of the Braum. That's actually a very big ultimate, and he's actually going to be going down as well.
That should be Baron. They should just turn and take Baron. Braum ultimate down, Braum down is quite a lot for their team, so...
And on top of that, they don't really have much vision other than that one single ward that New Meta EDU just cleared out right now. And right now, they don't even have any vision around this Baron pit, and this thing is just getting melted down immediately.
Warwick's not looking at it. It's not going to happen.
Currently, all that's going to be SPKvsLHE actually being able to pull out the soul of Lucian right there, and that is just so much damage coming out of that soul. And right now, it looks like Lionheart Esports is going to be able to reset. As we stated earlier, they're now going to be causing so much more pressure on the map. Now they can make these greedy macro plays that they wanted to be making, and it's going to be a lot easier for Lionheart right now, and SPK is going to be put to the test and see how well they can actually defend this.
Yeah, I think they have a couple great options for them, but no matter what they do at this point in the game, wherever they go, they're most likely just going to take the inhibitor. If they find a stacked wave anywhere, we have a semi-stacked wave up top lane. Coming up, it looks like it's going to be potentially cleared by Cloisto. It's kind of feigning for it.
Right now, Lionheart Esports able to take the Ocean Drake now. That's 4 Drakes secured by Lionheart Esports right now. And just so much objective control by Lionheart Esports this time around. And like we were stating before, this is just really good macro. Just really good macro right now from Lionheart Esports. And they're actually going to look to fight. And actually, that's going to be an ultimate spent by the Braum right now. And that's actually another ultimate being used there, so that's 2 crucial ultimates down from SPK Reapers right now, and as the siege continues, they're going to actually have Alawi go up towards the top side to push up that top lane, and they're actually going to be staying in the mid lane around here. And actually, that's going to be a misclick possibly from Foxy right there, expending the Zonias, but they're going to be able to take down the inhibitor turret and put some more pressure on this inhibitor tower right now, as Razblee's actually going to be coming around looking to actually see if he can get engaged, and it's going to come out of invisibility, and that's going to be the mid lane inhibitor actually going down. And right now, SPKvsLHE actually causing pressure over there by the inhibitor right there. He's actually going to be able to pull the soul out of Magnus right now, and actually he's going to spend the ultimate right there, and that's so much damage coming from the side of Lionheart Esports, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 right now, and Lionheart Esports is just dismantling SPK Reapers, and that is a 4-for-0 right now, as Kaiju Panda is going to be able to just stay in base and watch it fall as the winless Lionheart Esports takes down the #1 seed in SPK Reapers in Game 1 in this best-of-3.
It's a very commanding victory on the sides of Lionheart Esports. I mean, the scoreline is 15-29. They definitely didn't play a perfect game, but that was a very commanding and honestly a surprising victory coming out of Lionheart Esports. I hope they can carry this momentum to the next game. Be pretty interesting to see the team that won 0 games in the regular season go all the way and win the finals at the playoffs.
As we just seen right there, SPKvsLHE just taking or just dealing so much damage for the side of Lionheart Esports. I think he is a main reason why they were able to make plays as as Lionheart was able to do. And as I said before, it was his most contested champion from last season for CWE Season 1, and I honestly have to give my MVP vote to him. Foxy was really good on that Orianna, especially as the game went on, and she was able to get many picks and able to cause as much disruption as she could. But man, SPKvsLHE was able to cause so much pressure in the sideline, and when you get 5-man collapsed on by the entirety of SPK Reapers, that is an obvious sign that this man is definitely has a champion that SPK Reapers does need to fear.
Yeah. Do you have an MVP that you would give to the sides of SPK and Lionheart Esports, one each?
Definitely for SPK, I would have to probably give my MVP vote for Game 1 over to Flying Squirtle. He did have a lot of pressure and was trading really well in lane. Just unfortunate little micro mistakes that he made here and there, but he was able to match pressure around the map. He was able to cause a lot of damage and disrupt the backline just for a little bit longer. And I'd say he earns my MVP vote, or at least the ace vote for. Usually, if you're in OP.GG, you always want to get that ace if you do lose the match and whatnot. But I have to give mine over to Flying Squirrel.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. A lot of pressure coming from the Galio. Definitely one of their playmakers in the fight, in the game. Sorry, not the fight, but
But anyway, that is going to be game 1 right now of SPK Reapers versus Lionheart Esports. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break as we now head into game 2 between these two teams. Lionheart Esports taking a game over the #1 seed of SPK Reapers, and at match point, let's see if they're going to be able to prove me wrong in winning this series and actually being the first 0-10 team to make it to the finals for CWE. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.